Good evening and welcome to TV Tuần-san News of the Week. My name is Emma Doe. Now what's making headlines this week? The Ha Tinh Formosa plant given the green light for test runs. A group of Vietnamese shoplifters caught in Japan. And the infamous Sriracha sauce finally stocked in Vietnam. In this week's top story, Vietnam's Environment Ministry says the Formosa Plastics plant in Ha Tinh province is ready to start test runs. The Taiwanese company's Vietnamese plant last year released toxic wastewater into the ocean, causing one of Vietnam's biggest environmental disasters. The Vietnamese government's latest announcement was made after a 3-day inspection of the plant, which will still require government approval before it can go ahead with more tests. Formosa has now addressed 52 of its 53 violations and is expected to address the remaining violation by 2019. Meanwhile, fishers along the Vietnamese coast say their livelihoods are still being affected by the disaster, which happened in April 2016. More than 40,000 jobs were directly affected in 4 provinces, dependent on fishing and tourism. Locals told Reuters News that thousands of fishermen had given up on making a living from fishing and had gone to look for work elsewhere. Businesses that cater to tourists are also struggling, with visitors now wary of affected beaches. On Monday evening, thousands of Ha Tinh locals protested against Formosa after fears the government would allow the plant to resume operations. Consistent rallies have sprung up in the country in the wake of the disaster, with protesters uneasy about how the government has managed compensation payouts. An Israeli company has signed a deal with Vietnam to provide water generators which extract water from humid air. The technology developed by the company WaterGen takes water from humid air and purifies it to create drinking water. At 26 degrees Celsius and 60% humidity, the generators can extract up to 3,000 litres of water a day. According to WaterGen, the technology is estimated to be worth close to 200 million Australian dollars. The systems will be installed in areas which face water shortages, as well as schools across Vietnam. 5 Vietnamese fishing vessels with 16 crewmen have been seized by Thai Navy officials for illegally fishing in the Gulf of Thailand. Officers searched the trawlers on Tuesday afternoon after a tip-off from local fishermen. All fishermen have since been taken to a naval base in Thailand's Trat province. On Monday, 2 Vietnamese vessels were similarly detained by Malaysian authorities for illegally fishing off the Malaysian coastal city of Miri. According to Malaysian media, authorities seized about 1 tonne of fish along with 350 kilograms of endangered sea cucumbers. Seafood is one of Vietnam's most valuable industries, bringing in about 9.2 million Australian dollars a year. 7 Vietnamese nationals have been arrested in Japan for shoplifting cosmetic products from drug and discount stores in Himeji City. Osaka police allege the group of 7 planned to sell the items back home. According to the Japan Times, the group admitted to the charge, saying that they needed money to pay tuition fees and living expenses. It's believed that the group asked other Vietnamese students in Japan to carry the products with them when they returned to Vietnam. Police also said a woman living in Vietnam approached the group through Facebook and was directing the group's shoplifting operation. Detained human rights attorney and activist Nguyễn Văn Đài has received an award from Germany for his work. According to Radio Free Asia's Vietnamese service, the Human Rights Award is given annually to a judge, public prosecutor or other lawyers for outstanding work in the defence of human rights. Nguyen is the first Vietnamese person awarded the honour. Yesterday, his representative accepted the award from the largest professional organisation of judges and public prosecutors in Germany. Nguyen was taken into custody in December 2015 after he left his home to meet with the European Union delegation to participate in a human rights dialogue. He was later charged with conducting propaganda against the state and has been detained ever since. In December last year, Vietnamese authorities extended his prison term to April, marking the 3rd additional jail time since his arrest. A Vietnamese-American lawyer was gunned down in a targeted killing in the US city of Atlanta on Monday. The woman named Jin Huân was fatally shot at 7:40 a.m. at an Atlanta intersection by a gunman identified as 39-year-old Raylan Browning. Atlanta police say the motive and connection between Browning and the victim is unclear, though they are confident the shooting was targeted from the way Browning behaved. Browning has not yet appeared in court. Over to news in Australia. 2 Vietnamese nationals accused of growing cannabis in the Queensland city of Townsville have been committed to a district court sentencing. Thi Phương Linh Tran and her husband Linh Thung Vu, both in their 20s, have been charged with a range of drug-related offences including trafficking and cultivation. The 2 were arrested at a converted Alice River property in 2015 during a raid where police found $1 million worth of cannabis and $50,000 worth of ice. Vu and Tran both said they would plead guilty to the charges. A date has not yet been set for the sentencing. Australian authorities have seized the largest amount of crystal meth in the country's history. Just yesterday, a joint operation by Australian Federal Police and Victoria Police uncovered nearly $900 million worth of ice hidden in floorboards of a house in Nunawading. A 53-year-old Blackburn man and a 36-year-old Doncaster man have been charged with trafficking a commercial quantity of illegal narcotics. Police are still searching for 2 Asian men with links to the syndicate who are believed to often visit the Box Hill area. The latest seizure comes less than a week after Australian officials arrested 3 Vietnamese nationals believed to be a part of a major drug syndicate. The 3 men, aged between 23 and 25, are believed to be living in Australia. They have been charged with importing offences and are all being held in custody. They will face the Melbourne Magistrates Court again on August 3rd. The infamous chili sauce created by a Vietnamese refugee to the United States over 30 years ago is finally available on Vietnam's supermarket shelves. The Sriracha brand chili sauce, made by Huy Fong Foods in the US state of California, has taken on a cult status around the world, becoming a staple of both humble and high-end restaurants. The creator of Huy Fong Foods is David Tran, who came to the US as a refugee back in 1979. In the 80s, he began making the spicy garlic sauce based on a Thai Sriracha recipe. While Sriracha is simply the name of a Thai town where the hot sauce was first invented, many in the West have come to know Sriracha as Tran's brand of chili sauce. With the US market under his belt, Tran has now secured a Vietnamese distributor, shipping more than 57,000 bottles to the Vietnamese market. But the US Sriracha faces tough competition. Vietnamese supermarkets are already filled with both Thai and Vietnamese hot sauces, and Vietnam remains a country where many still make their chili sauce at home. That's all from TV Tuần-san News of the Week. For more stories, you can follow TV Tuần-san at tvtsonline.com.au and Facebook at TV Tuần-san. I'm Emma Doe. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to your company at the same time next week.